girl on the rocks, and I'm here for another episode of The Hot Spot. And you guys, I always have like really good friends on the show, and I don't. It's not a problem. It's my show. It's fine. But this guest, not only is she a great friend of mine, but I'm fangirling. Yes, it's happening. It's happening again. This woman has been such a major inspiration for me. I feel like I can definitely give her some credit for helping me mold into the person that I am now, or the person that I'm kind of trying to be, I guess. So this is one of the women that I look up to whenever I'm doubting myself about whether I can do it all or not, because she literally does it all. And I know y'all are trying to think like, who am I? You probably got it, because, yeah, I got her here in the flesh. Hala Maroc, y'all. Yeah, she's here. Hey, Hala.
Hi, boo. I love that introduction.
Right? I have always wanted to sit and have this conversation because I see you out here, and it is so inspiring, and you're always giving me opportunities too, and you're always putting out opportunities for people to learn more and get access, and wellness is a big major part of that too. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to learn more about that today and get a little bit of sprinkle onto your story, and then we have this awesome platform so that when people finish this interview, they'll go and check out some more of what you have going on. So yes. I want to let them know. Here's the titles. It's just a short list for y'all, okay? Music artist, all right? So you guys can go and listen to the music right now. Business owner of the Badass Bootcamp. And we're going to tell you about some of the special programs and stuff that they have going on right now in this interview. She's also a multimedia personality. So she's going to give y'all a run for your money right now in this interview, okay? Very clean cut. And on top of that, she is an actor. She's in radio. She's on TV. She's on YouTube. She's on all of the platforms. So this is a Wonder Woman right here in front of me, and I'm super happy to be able to have her on my platform, my little platform. You know what I'm saying?
Nice, I love this little set. I love everything about this.
Yeah, so tell me how you even came into this amazing industry of media. Like, I know it's very vast, but how did you get started? I know you were on a radio show at first and doing that, but what even got you interested in it? Like, what made you say, I want to be that person in the front of the camera?
Okay, so interestingly enough, like, I feel like I've always been this person. Yeah. Like, you could probably, I'm not going to send you the links or anything, but find, like, little Hala on YouTube when YouTube wasn't even a thing. Mm-hmm. Just kind of, like, improvising, and this is what we're going to do today with my cousins, teaching them choreo, just doing all these, like, little creative things behind and in front of the camera. And I just think that girl grew into someone who, you know, always kind of had to do what she had to do to get to do what she wants to do. Yeah. My parents are no joke. My just support system, anybody who was around me never played with my life, like, you know. And so it's like when I got to the point where I was like graduating high school and figuring out what I was going to do in college, like, though I knew my passion was entertainment and music and, you know, like the arts, I couldn't tell my parents I'm going in there
you can't.
To be a singer or like a dancer. Right. You know, I danced for 13 years and it was still not a thing. Yeah. You know, so I just kind of had to like look into like, what can I do that sounds like it's a career. Right. But I'm still kind of like in the spaces that I want to do. Yeah. And communications is everywhere, you know what I mean? And marketing is like a superpower. You're literally looking at like the world and creating a new one, like, or just, you know, telling your story about it with everything that you do. And I found passion in that. I got the bug in college. I started with the college radio station. Yeah. That was my first experience to having like a show, and I interned every goddamn where. Yeah,
that's super important. Like, I feel like internship culture right now is so different than what it was
It's
back
a dub
then.
Right now.
Yeah.
It's not what it was.
Yeah, like interning was a fun thing. Like, if you were really hungry, you were happy to go to these places and do this. And I feel like it's so different now.
It is so different now. It's kind of like very like controlled. Yeah. And in a game that's already full of politics, and you know, you have to, that was my way to like make my contacts and make myself useful. And, you know, I'm so grateful for that part of my time. And I was able to get in a lot of doors at that point. Like, I was interning everywhere, like SiriusXM, iHeartRadio, Hot 97, I ended up getting a job there, then did promotions, did the boards, did everything that nobody else wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was never afraid to, like, leave the island or leave New York either. Like, you know, though I had all this experience, I got my first real, like, chance to have, like, a full-time radio show in North Carolina and then Philly. And then I came back to New York and people were like, oh, you're the radio girl. Like, you know, but I've been that. But it's like, you know, that kind of gave me that space because those markets are, like, a little smaller.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, you're like the big fish in a small pond opposed to, like, there's a million radio people here. There's a million, you know. So yeah, that's the long story short.
You guys, this story, I'm waiting for the movie. I'm waiting. I'll be in the front row.
You have no idea.
Yes, I'll be pre-ordering my ticket. So tell me how you balance all of this amazingness on your calendar at this point. Like, you own a business, so I know you have to be there. You're making music, and you're also working with clients too. So not only are you doing that, but you're making this a business, and you're out there inspiring people and trying to keep others accountable. So how are you able to maintain this on a day-to-day as a New Yorker too? You know, as a woman, like, with all of those factors.
Yeah. I think the best thing I can say is I don't really feel like I'm maintaining anything. It's just who I am. Like, you know, like earlier in your intro, you know, you said, like, you know, that's something that I want to be. And I almost wanted to stop you and be like, that's what you're doing already. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're also maintaining. And I see you in these different spaces and it comes naturally to you. It's not like you're like, I need to do, and I need to, and I need to do it. It's just like, you don't got to do it, you get to do it. I'm blessed to feel like I'm kind of good at most things that I try. And even the things that I'm not that great at, I feel like you know, I don't take myself too seriously. If it don't work, it don't work.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just a part of the story.
It's a beautiful thing about being a risk taker. It's like, yes, it's scary, but the worst thing that anyone's going to say is yes or no.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I want to talk about now your business, right?
Yes.
So aside from making music and being a creator, which takes so much of your time and energy, you also have this business. So tell us a little bit about the Badass Bootcamp and how it came to life. I love the name also.
Thank you.
Yes, I need to know all about that. Yes.
Okay, so the name and the brand itself started like 5 years ago at a point where I had thought that, like, I lost my dream job. And to me, I'm a Capricorn.
Same.
That felt like, okay. So that felt like worse than a breakup. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like I was at the top of the top. It was like a roller coaster. And then, like, a few months later, it was just, like, gone. And it was for something that wasn't my fault. I've told this story a few times, but it's irrelevant these days at this point. But from that, I really realized, like, you know, just the just the trials and tribulations that comes with being, like, a dreamer. Like, I always say this, but, like, we legit live in the big picture. So until we get home or to our goal, it's like we just feel lost, you know, and we just always hitting the ground running, always on this hamster wheel. And we make all these headlines and are so innovative and kill it for everything and everyone else. But at the very bottom of our to-do list is self-care and self-love. And so I just felt like in that moment that was something that I needed, a tribe, resources, a new place to like build myself up and take care of myself mentally. And I couldn't find it, you know, and not just in Staten Island. I couldn't find it anywhere. Like in my friend circles, in my family circles. It just nobody else gets it if they're not living that life. And so I created a wellness brand that was specifically for us, like creatives and entrepreneurs. Fast forward, I was doing a bunch of workshops and events all around the country before pre-COVID. And then everybody got shut down for COVID.
Which is the worst.
So we had to pivot. I started a box service where it's like you can bring wellness to your home. It's kind of like a Ipsy or a Birchbox. That did really well. We started giving it to like a bunch of essential workers and it kind of took off. And with that, I was like, okay, well, you know, the world is opening up a little bit. How can we like use this momentum and bring it somewhere else? My good friend Jati, who obviously had her on the show before, is one of the best like community builders I know. And I had just kept her in mind when I saw this kiosk, and my partner at the time was like, you should apply. You know what I mean? It was a program called Pop Up and Grow, and literally, you'd be surprised how many people don't apply.
Yeah.
It wasn't really hard to get.
Absolutely.
And I ended up getting it. We used it as like a co-retail space for the whole summer. We killed it. Did a bunch of events at the outlet. It was just amazing, like what we could do in a summer. We really made an imprint. And then the winter came and they were going to close the kiosk. I was like, we don't want to close it. Like, we want to, how do we expand?
You guys had that little area of
lit.
the Empire
Like, it was lit.
Like,
we're not closing that. But of course it was cold, so I understood. But it was like, okay, what do we do? And honestly, when something's meant to be and you know it's bigger than you is when things just kind of happen.
Yeah.
We put this into our mindset, and then slowly but surely, like in literally 13 days, like it was not even 2 weeks. Yeah. An investor came, everything came, and our outlet worked with us, and we opened the store. And
that's insane.
Yeah, so it was been an amazing experience. But the first year, which we wrapped up in November.
Yes, happy birthday, Badass Bootcamp.
Yes, thank you. Was literally 365 days of lessons. Like as an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur now for like 4 or 5 years. But like having like a brick and mortar, like if you don't show up, it doesn't. It don't go. Like,
so it's on you. And that's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure. It is, especially when you do a lot of things. So I really had to learn how to like delegate and build a team and trust people. Yeah. Like, this whole like entrepreneurship thing will really make you like a lone wolf, you know? And I'm just grateful. Like, I just feel like it just has a life of its own right now, and I'm just assigned by the universe and God to just manage and maintain it and keep it going. Like,
absolutely.
So
it's a beautiful space. Every time I go, there's something new. There's something that my eyes are like, ooh, I want that.
Good.
So you guys have a really cool program right now that you are running in this space.
Yes.
And it's all about accountability and keeping up with the team and doing group activities so that everybody is fit and well. So tell us a little bit about this. It's 21 days, right, the program?
Yeah, so it's a 21-day program, but we're going to continue to do basically like a challenge every month. And this one's called the Health is Wealth Challenge. It's 7:30 a.m. every weekday morning, doing yoga with Jyoti, who's learning how to be a instructor. Okay. She's in school right now. And so this is helping her while it's helping us in a sense. And then we have a 7 p.m. workout every day. And shout out to John, GQ Cuts. I literally met him so organically, like at the gym. It was like my first day back at the gym in mad long. So I literally looked like I didn't know what I was doing. And it shows. Yeah, he's like, are you trying to be cute? I'm like, yeah.
I'm trying to get my workout in, but I'm not trying to break a sweat, okay?
Great. So we kind of like built this relationship where like he was just like very invested in, he's just one of those people who wants to help people. And he took a liking to the store, and we built this together. And he's kicking our ass. And I'm just hoping that by the summertime we're snatched and, hitting our goals, and not even just on the wellness side of it, but it's like I do feel like discipline is the key to everything.
Absolutely.
So if we could do it with this, we could do it anything. So I felt like that was a good one for January.
Oh my goodness. So I want to talk too about how you shape yourself to put yourself out there, right? So I know that right now my goal for this year is to kind of make my presentation to the world more clean cut and just like make it make sense to me because I'm doing so much, and I feel like sometimes it looks kind of all over the place. So what is some advice that you have for myself, but even people out there who are trying to go into our field and take it more seriously? And how they can, I guess, tweak whatever they're putting out to the world.
I think the biggest lesson, and it was also around the time that I built Badass Bootcamp, was that stop associating so much of who you are with what you do. Like we put so much pressure on like, do I have a job? If I don't have the job, then am I still an artist? No, like you are who you are. Going back to what I said in the beginning, and you feel it, and you know what ignites you and lights your fire, and you see when the dots connect and it makes sense for you. And some of us really are good at everything, or some of us are, can at least have a good track record where it's like no matter what room you walk into or what project you're putting into, that you're adding to it. And I think the biggest key here is to realize like the business is a business, but you're the brand, know? So when you're selling something to people, you're selling yourself, really. You're not selling the thing that you created. It's like every time Hala's in something, people know, all right, it's going to be lit, or it's going to do well, or, she's going to do her best, or,
and give her all.
Yeah, and that's what they're paying for. It's not, the boot camp, or specifically the radio thing, or specific, like, if tomorrow I said, hey, guys, I'm a trampoline artist, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, they'll just be like, all right, let's see what it's giving, and from there you just prove yourself. I think that's really the part that I've kind of like had to come to a realization. It's like people will tell you, like, pick one thing or focus, but it all legit aligns. Like, if this one works out, they all work out. If this one works out, this, it all kind of makes sense together.
Yeah.
So.
And do you still get nervous for any of this stuff? Like, when you're going into business meetings, when you're about to do your podcast, do you still have that little feeling inside, that anxiety?
I do. But I think that's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
One thing I've realized, too, is, like, I like to do things that scare me.
Yeah.
So whenever I do get on that mic, I instantly feel that thing, and then I feel that myself relax slowly, or I feel the energy in the room shift, and I'm like, okay, this is why I'm doing it. And it all goes away, and it all goes smooth every time, So it's like, you forget every time, but then it works every time, and you're just like, okay, no, it's kind of like an exercise. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's
and
therapy.
I can feel your energy and this bubbly, charismatic personality in your music. And so I want to know what your plans are for your music this year. Girl, I need it.
Okay.
I want it. Please give it to us.
It's coming. It's crazy because I have so much music recorded.
I know.
No one even has an idea of how much I have recorded. I just feel like, all the advice I give to artists, like, I want to be able to really, like, hone in and do that for myself, That's kind of actually why I started doing music to begin with. I'm like, all my clients, like, I listen to them and I listen to their issues and then tell them the same advice, and I know what works, and I've seen it on different levels. Yeah. But it's like, what's better than actually just proving it? You know what I mean? Right. So that's kind of where I started, and then I really just did it as an outlet to express myself when I didn't have a radio opportunity. I was like, I kind of need to use my pen and my voice.
Need to get this out
somehow.
Yeah.
So poetry was always second nature to me and whatever, and that's where the music came from. But now, last year was such a big year for the music that I'm like, okay, this is. Again, it starts to feel like it's taking a life of its own. I'm definitely gonna put an EP out eventually. I was supposed to do it in February. I say this every few months. But
that's good. That just shows that you have so much going on, and your plate is full. It's okay.
Yeah, but I think
there's a season for it.
Exactly. It'll happen when it's ready to happen, and the singles, they'll keep coming out. But I think my goal now as an artist, I've realized what my enjoyment is. I love performing, and I do love writing, and I just think that, to me, the opportunities that I'm looking for now is, like, sync licensing, like getting in these, like, movies and TV opportunities, and then writing for people. Yeah. Like, I can see myself writing for people, like, more than I can perform, or more than my voice can even handle. I can write, so.
And there's so much that goes into that. You know what I'm saying? The behind the scenes, before it even gets out to the people, there's so many processes.
People have no idea.
That they skip over and people don't even think about in that moment. Yeah. So I'm excited to see where that leads you.
And there's going to be a whole shift in the sound, too. Like, the poppy stuff was fun, but, like, I have a lot to say. So it's like, it'll get deep this year.
Absolutely. And so it's like quality over quantity.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And so I love all of your shows. You have amazing platforms. So how do you keep up with all of the fresh new ideas to bring to the table for all of these different platforms?
That's a good question. I think all the ideas just come from my, like, legit lifestyle,
and living it in the moment.
Like, I'm lucky that I have all these platforms, because each parts of my lifestyle can sit, like, they have a home. So, like, the Divine Chaos podcast is specifically for the wellness and mental health and having hard conversations. Then when I'm with Mano, it's like, it's his world, you know what I mean? And I just kind of, like, hop in and chime in and, like, bring in, like, fun guests and keep it young and fresh. I am the youngest on the show. That's getting up there. And then,
but we love the OGs, though.
I love that. Yeah, but it's like, just as much as they need us, we need them. You know, so it's a perfect chemistry in that space. And then I'm on Dash Radio, which is, like, very consistent and has its own audience. And the people that maybe aren't built enough to be on Kitchen Talk, I can still interview there. And So yeah, it's fun. I think to me, it's really, I just really do walk around and get inspired by every damn thing, and I hope I stay like that. Like,
yeah, I mean, listen, it is working on me, and I am so happy to have you here in the studio because it's been a long time. When I interviewed Jethy, I was like, I want Hala next. Talk to her and tell her to come. So I'm so happy that we were able to have this time and to quickly just go over all of this resume. This resume is popping, y'all. Like, damn.
Thank you.
So tell us where we can find all of your information, where we can find you, where people can come to you and ask you and really get that one-on-one with Hala.
Yeah.
And you, I mean, listen, you a celebrity. I mean, if you know, might not be able to get that time in, but how do you connect with your audience? Let us know.
I use the primary app that I use is Instagram.
Yeah.
At Hala Maroc and then at the Badass Bootcamp. And then if you're sending me music, the one that I check the most is the cornersubmissions@gmail.com.
Yeah.
That's the Dash Radio email. And honestly, come see me. I'm literally a sitting duck like 4 times a week at the shop, and I love it. Like, I love when people pop in and they have these ideas, and I'm such a collaborator that, like, I literally take it as a compliment. Like, you want to work with me? Let's go. Like, you know. So yeah, just literally pull up on me. I'm here. I'm around.
And then, do you have any upcoming events that you would like to shed some light on right now for us? Okay.
Yes. What can I think of? Okay, so I don't know when this is coming out, but we do, every month we have Other Stories at the shop, which is a storytelling series.
Yeah.
I think it's the only one of its kind on the island so far. And then you should come check it out definitely one day. The first one that's coming up for the year is on Friday. We have the fashion show. So I'm trying to bring New York Fashion Show, New York Fashion Week vibes to Staten Island.
Absolutely.
So we're doing it at the outlet right by the shop. And, you know, any local brands that are interested, people who want to be models, volunteers, anything like that, let's do it. It's in honor of my friend Cool Shells, who also did radio. She had passed due to brain cancer 2 years ago now. And, yeah, I think everything else you can probably find on my Instagram. I can probably go on for days.
Yes,
but,
yes.
But, yeah.
Yes, you guys, mark those calendars. Make sure that you go and follow Hala on her Instagram. Check out all of her platforms. Go check out her shows. Go to the Badass Bootcamp. Get you some wellness items.
Yes.
And you may even see both of these media queens in the building when you go, because I'll be over there. I'll be at the Badass Bootcamp hanging out.
Yeah,
you know? So this is a businesswoman. This is a mogul. This is an entrepreneur. This is a multimedia queen. I mean, what else can she do? There's nothing. So please go and check out Hala. I am GirlOnTheRocks. This is the Hotspot. And this is the same studio, same time, different guest. And we'll be back for more.